Imagine living in a world where washing your hands could cost more than feeding your family for an entire week. A world where the rich displayed soap as a symbol of wealth instead of using it. Where kings exchanged scented bars as diplomatic gifts, noble women locked them inside carved wooden chests, and ordinary people might never touch soap in their entire lives. Today, soap sits beside almost every sink on Earth. We barely notice it. But for thousands of years, this simple object-shaped empires fueled international trade, inspired religious rituals, spread deadly myths, and helped determine who lived and who died. This is the extraordinary story of how one humble bar of soap became one of history's greatest luxuries and one of humanity's most important inventions. Take a deep breath. Now imagine the smell of an ancient city. Not the pleasant aroma of fresh bread or flowers, but smoke from charcoal fires, rotting food left in narrow streets, animal waste beneath crowded markets, open sewers flowing beside homes, sweat from thousands of people who rarely bathed. This was daily life for much of human history. People didn't avoid cleanliness because they enjoyed being dirty. For most, true cleanliness was simply too expensive. Soap, the very thing we now buy without a second thought, was once a rare treasure, crafted by skilled artisans using precious oils, animal fats, and scarce alkaline salts. In many places, a single bar represented weeks of wages. Only the wealthy could afford to use it regularly. Everyone else relied on water alone, if they were lucky enough to have access to it. But the story of soap began long before kings and castles. To uncover its origins, we must travel back nearly 5,000 years to the birthplace of civilization. The first light of dawn rises over the broad plains of ancient Mesopotamia. The mighty Euphrates River glitters beneath a golden sky, while mud brick cities slowly awaken to another day. Merchants push wooden carts through crowded streets. Bakers pull fresh loaves from clay ovens. Priests climb towering temple staircases, carrying offerings to the gods. This is one of humanity's earliest civilizations, and hidden among its workshops is a discovery that will quietly change the future. Around 2800 BC, craftsmen experimenting with animal fat, plant ash, and water create a strange, slippery substance. It isn't made for bathing. Instead, it is used for cleaning wool before weaving, washing valuable textiles, treating certain skin conditions, and preparing materials for trade. Clay tablets from ancient Babylon record recipes, combining fats with alkaline ashes, some of the earliest written evidence of soap-like materials ever found. A simple mixture of ash and fat has begun a journey that will span thousands of years. Far to the west, another civilization is rising beside an even more famous river, the Nile, Egypt. Here, cleanliness is no longer just practical, it becomes sacred. The morning sun reflects from white limestone temples as priests shave every hair from their bodies before entering holy sanctuaries. Perfume servants carry alabaster jars decorated with gold. Wealthy Egyptians wash with mixtures of oils, mineral salts, and early forms of soap-like cleansers, believing that purity brings them closer to the gods. To appear clean is to honor both society and the divine. Even in death, cleanliness matters. Before mummies begin their journey into eternity, bodies are carefully washed, purified, and prepared with astonishing care. Soap, or at least its ancestors, has already become part of civilization itself. Yet despite its importance, producing these cleansing materials remains slow and expensive. Animal fat is valuable. Olive oil is precious. Wood ash must be gathered in enormous quantities. Every ingredient demands labor. Every batch takes time. Soap is never something ordinary families waste. Instead, it becomes a quiet symbol of status. The richer you are, the cleaner you can afford to be. But an empire is about to transform everything. As Rome expands across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, It inherits knowledge from countless cultures. The Romans built magnificent bathhouses unlike anything the world has ever seen. Marble columns stretch toward painted ceilings. Steam rises from heated pools. Cold baths, warm baths, and scorching hot rooms welcome senators, soldiers, merchants, philosophers, and travelers from every corner of the empire. For Romans, bathing is more than hygiene. It is politics, business, entertainment, friendship, status. Entire afternoons are spent inside these vast public baths. Yet here's the surprise. Most Romans do not wash with soap. Instead, they coat their skin with olive oil. Then servants scrape away dirt and sweat using curved bronze tools called strigils. The grime comes away mixed with oil. Their skin is clean, soap exists, but it still has not become the everyday bathing product we know today. That transformation is still centuries away. And when the Roman Empire falls, Europe enters one of the most misunderstood periods in history. A time when soap would become rarer than ever. A time when one small bar could be worth more than a laborer's monthly earnings. A time when cleanliness itself would become a luxury. The Roman Empire is fading. Its grand bathhouses grow silent. Marble floors begin to crack. The fires that once heated enormous pools burn out, one by one. As trade routes collapse and cities shrink, many of the ingredients needed to make quality soap become difficult to obtain. Olive oil, fragrant herbs, and alkaline salts are no longer easy to transport across continents. Skilled craftsmen disappear as workshops close their doors. What was once uncommon now becomes truly rare. Across medieval Europe, a single piece of fine soap is considered a luxury item. Wealthy nobles keep scented bars wrapped in linen or stored inside beautifully carved wooden boxes. Some are infused with lavender, rosemary, or rose petals, not only to cleanse the skin, but to perfume clothing and rooms. Soap becomes something to display, a symbol of wealth, a mark of refinement. For ordinary families, owning such a luxury is almost unimaginable. Most people wash with cold water alone. Others scrub themselves with coarse sand, clay, or rough cloth. In some regions, lye made from wood ash is used for laundry, but it is harsh enough to burn the skin if not prepared carefully. Bathing itself becomes less frequent, not because people suddenly stop caring about cleanliness, but because warm water requires firewood, and firewood costs money. Soap costs even more. Every bath becomes a decision. Use precious resources to wash, or save them to cook the next meal. Meanwhile, far to the south, another part of the world is perfecting the craft. In the thriving cities of the Islamic Golden Age, master soap makers transform an ordinary necessity into an extraordinary art. Walk through the bustling markets of Damascus, Aleppo, and Nablus. The air is alive with the scent of olive oil, laurel oil, jasmine, and spices carried by merchants from distant lands. Copper cauldrons bubble day and night as skilled artisans carefully blend oils with natural alkalis, stirring the mixture for hours before pouring it into enormous wooden molds. Days later, workers cut the soap into perfect cubes. Each block is stamped with the mark of its workshop. Then comes the hardest part: waiting. The soap is stacked in towering cathedral-like pyramids and left to cure for months, sometimes even a year. As it dries, it becomes harder, milder, and more valuable. These soaps are unlike anything much of Europe has seen. Gentle, fragrant, beautifully crafted. Merchants carry them across the Mediterranean, where they become prized possessions among Europe's elite. Kings request them, queens treasure them. Noble households purchase them as gifts worthy of royalty. In some courts, receiving a finely made bar of imported soap is considered an honor equal to receiving rare fabrics or precious spices. It is astonishing to imagine today. A single bar of soap could travel farther than many people would in their entire lives. It crossed deserts on camel caravans. It sailed across dangerous seas aboard merchant ships. It passed through the hands of traders, nobles, and monarchs before finally reaching the person who would use it. And because it was so valuable, people used it sparingly. Every wash mattered. Every lather was precious. Yet even as soap became more refined, a dangerous misunderstanding was beginning to spread across Europe, one that would shape hygiene for centuries and leave millions vulnerable to disease.